This podcast is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
I guess training camp, what was your assessment of how camp went and what direction y'all are headed now?
I thought camp went well. You know how it is, the grind of the camp. You have some days you like, okay, let's go, let's pick it up. But for the most part, it's been a very consistent camp. Guys are doing exactly what we asked them to do. So that's always fun. And you can see guys' improvement, throughout camp.
Sam Pittman said today at a lunch thing that Jim Collins was one of the guys who made one of the biggest jumps from spring.
Sorry too, but from spring till now, can you maybe speak to what he's done in Sorry?
Yeah, so Anton he's on the field. You could just see when he first got here, we have a lot of defense. So him just learning, the defense and the expectations of Coach Adams and different things like that. And that's what he said. He said, man, it was just so much more defense and so much faster than what he was used to. And now that he has the defense down, and he has the speed of the game down, you could really see his talent out there. So you could really see the progress with him. Sorry, same way. Sorry wasn't really the speed of the game because he came from another SEC school. It was just him learning the system. Now he's just comfortable in what we're calling, and now you can really see his athletic ability because he's not thinking a lot.
What's maybe your ideal, linebacker rotation? Just, how many guys do you want to play? And, how confident are you with the depth of that room right now, given maybe what your expectations are for them?
Yes, sir. That's a good question. I would love to play all of them. And I got a lot of them in there. But if we can get 4 to 5 and we can just be rotating, I tell the guys a story all the time because I watch the women's basketball, college basketball a lot. And I just saw like Dawn Staley at the University of South Carolina, they women's basketball, where she was just throwing just a new 5 out there and just keeping them fresh. And we know how great Caitlin Clark is, but the team got wore down. So just being able to sub and being able to keep the guys fresh. So I just want to put all the guys now. They got to earn the right to be out there. But if we can get 4 or 5 guys and continue to rotate them, the days of like when I played linebacker, I didn't want to lead the field. And those guys don't want to lead the field now. But if you're playing 90 snaps, 85, 90 snaps, like you're going to have 40 of them. Like if you run into the ball like your life depending on it, 30 of them going to be one of them, not as fast as you want them to be. But if you get 40 just straight, just unbelievable effort, then now the scouts are looking at that. Okay, they don't care if you play 100 snaps. They want to see those 30 or 40 just unbelievable snaps. So the guys are buying into that, just being fresh, playing special teams and 30 to 40 snaps, but 45 guys, to answer your question.
The cornerback, spot, we got a lot. You have a lot of competition there. What have you seen from maybe, the 3 guys that weren't exactly the starters last year, Keon, Jaheim, and Cuddy, and Cuddy specifically, his personality, how beneficial can that be for a defense to have a guy like that, a little bit of swagger?
Oh man, love his personality. He has a swag, he has that confidence. He's the type of guy, he's mentally tough now. Like he is mentally tough and he loves ball. He's running around and that's the thing with any position. It really doesn't matter how talented you are. It matters. But if you don't have this, it doesn't help you. So his mental toughness and the way he go about his business is really fun to watch. And it's a good competition, And this what I tell the guys, this is what everybody understand. The whole days of the first 11 out there, you could be the first person running out there and get 20 snaps and be the person that's coming off the bench that's getting 50 snaps. So the days of that is, so I tell the guys all the time, if we put you out there, you're a starter. So it's not these charity reps. Like we put you out there, you're a starter. That means you earn the right to be out there playing for the Hogs. So, you could be the first person running out there or you could go out there the second series. But just having pride when you're out there. But those guys are competing and we need all of them. Like you got to play 3, 4, 5 corners just because of the way the league is. And we asking our guys to play in special teams as well. So just having those guys with fresh legs is always a good deal.
Coach, how close is TJ Metcalf to maybe starting or getting extensive playing time?
TJ is a guy, I think, probably one of the guys who made the biggest jump, to be honest with you. And we see him as a starter. He's gonna play. He's gonna play a lot. He earned that right. You watch him work his tail off on the off season. You watch him while we at practice working his tail off as well. So he earned that right to go out there and play. you know, like I said, starter or coming off the bench. I don't really, man, if you're playing, you're a star. That means I trust you with with the paycheck, right? I'm putting my house note on you if you play on that field. So whether you're getting 20 reps, 50 reps, I put you out there. I got 4 daughters at the house. That means it's important to me. He's earned that right. He's earned it. He's earned his teammates' respect as well. Man, he go by it the right way. Him and his brother, like, it's a good bloodline.
Bobby was in here last night and I asked him this question. You know, the UAPB games, it's at 6:30, but the Oklahoma State games at 11 a.m. Those could be 2 pretty high games. Do you feel pretty good about your numbers there at all the positions on defense?
Yes, sir. Really feel good about our numbers. And, you know, we do so much. And Coach Salters, our strength coach, does a great job with those guys. And everybody, a lot of times they look at myself as a defense coordinator or position coach or the offense coordinator. But Coach Salters, he's with the guys way more than us. And that work that they put in during the summer, like, they do a unbelievable job. It was really good seeing them come to fall camp. And you could see the work that they've put in. A lot of times you get there and the guys are like still tired. I'm like, what they've been doing all summer. Not with Coach Salters. Like, those guys was ready to roll, and he and his staff do a great job.
Coach, going back to the linebackers, Bradley Shaw being a freshman that got here over the summer, curious where he's grown the most over throughout camp, and is he a guy that could be in that linebacker rotation for you?
Yeah, he's a special talent. He can play. He can play. He's his football IQ is just out of this roof. You can tell at his high school they done a great job with him. Like I said, he doesn't say a word. When he's on that football field, he's a different type of person. But he could play all different positions. For him to be a freshman and us moving him different positions, and so he could play both the money and the MAC and different things like that. I mean, he has a bright future. He's gonna be a guy. He'll play. He'll play.
And on that versatility aspect with Switzer and Worth, I'm curious, now that you've gone through a full camp with them, do you kind of have a better feel for kind of how you're going to utilize them this season?
Yes, sir. I do. We don't want to say, but yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach, you were able to retain pretty much your entire defensive staff for a second year back. I wonder what does that do when you go to like installing stuff in camp and kind of the familiarity of it all?
It's like unbelievable difference because you don't have to reteach it. And even though these guys been coaching 20 plus years, it's like it's different systems. So you're not reteaching something and say, okay, this is how I like it, and da 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 da. And they had a different way. It's like, no, this is the way we're gonna do it. Like, everybody like is on the same page of exactly how we want it to be done. And it's always good to retain those guys. So I mean, it's outside of football, even like the wives, and like, okay, my wife, like, she's expecting September 14th. Hopefully the baby come sooner than that. Well, they had the baby shower yesterday that Chastity Woodson and then Deke Adams, Miss Alexis Adams, they put on and had all the wives there. So the football part of us staying together is awesome on the field, but it's awesome for the wives to be together as well. So the whole thing is, the wives got to be happy as well. But man, we got a good group of guys, love to come to work, and man, we get in there each morning. We're gonna pray. We do our devotion as a defensive staff, and then we get into football. So it's fun being around those guys and being around good people.
And I know you talked about Dix when we talked to you the other day, but now that he's had a full camp, what's your take on how he did in preseason practice? Your expectations for him?
Good player, and he's in that box. He's a run-stopping joker now. He can kick, diagnose, has good movement, got good eyes, very strong and powerful. He's been a really good addition for us, and he's going to play as well. So we got a good thing. We'll be able to rotate guys, and he has a lot of playing experience. When he was at Florida State, he was a freshman All-American, and he was at Marshall and did really well there. And now he's with us. So he's a guy with a lot of experience. So when you go out and you say, okay, you're trying to get a position, what do you need? You know what? The first thing we looked at, okay, when we go in the portal, because we have to go in the portal, we got to get a guy that has a lot of experience. And he brought that experience to the room.
Yeah, Coach, back here. Curious, now that we're about 3 or so weeks into training camp, what's something that you've learned about this year's team that's different from last year?
And that's a good question. I like that. All the questions was good, by the way. But you know what? It's really good to see the guys gel, because you bring in different pieces of the puzzle together. So like Fernando, I mean, and he's on the offensive side. I like to watch that kid. You talking about a leader. I like to watch him lead those guys, lead the offensive lineman. Taylor, our quarterback, just watching how he leads, and so you come over to defense. You got Anton that's bringing his leadership and his experience coming in, and you got Switzer and Cuddy. Cuddy likes the whole room up, So I really like the leadership of our team. And just those guys being so close. So I'm just you watching, you could just see, okay, these guys like each other. The group that I really like to watch is the defensive line. They got a special type of bond. They during spring break, they all go to Miami together, like all of that. Man, it's pretty cool to see, and just seeing what Coach Pittman has built here. And you see those guys are buying into it and how close those guys are, how close the staff is. It's really fun to watch.
Thanks, Coach.
Our question's about the helmet communications. I know we asked you last week, but do you feel more comfortable in how that is going to operate, and who's going to be talking to the player on the field?
Oh, I'm gonna do the talking. Comfortable a little, but we haven't been in a game situation. I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna use it. I'm going to use it, but I do think it's an offensive advantage more so defense. Because you got up to 15 seconds before they cut it off. And now, like I said, the offensive coordinators, they can sit there and look at your coverage and say, okay, throw it to this person, or they in this, run this. But for us, if you're using it a lot, most teams, they're just going to go fast, because it's hard for you to talk to one guy in the mic and he talk to 11 other people, and it's going warp speed fast. So it's going to be team to team, depending on, who we're facing. If it's one of those fast-paced teams that's tempo, then you probably won't use it a lot. If it's one of those teams where they do a lot of check with me from the sideline, then you'll be able to talk to them. But we looked at out of the 12 or so games, I think 9 of the teams are like tempo. So really, you got to have a way of just hiding your signals and a way of signaling, and then do some pre-snap, just disguise and then move post-snap. Because if you just sit there, the offensive coordinator, they're gonna see what you're in, and they're gonna just talk to the quarterback, and they're playing college football, NCAA, 25 video game, and they're just playing that. So just got to get used to it. Not used to it yet, but I kind of got to answer on kind of how we're going to operate.
You guys are transitioning into the UAPB prep very soon. Can you say anything that about what you're going to face?
Not yet, be honest with you. We've been watching them. Very well coached. I know the head coach really well. A really, really good guy. Offensive coordinator came from Grambling. I watched a lot of Grambling's film, and I watched them versus LSU and different teams. And I mean, they very well coached, and they do some things that's like that you got to work for, and you just can't get caught off guard. But from what I've been watching them, now I've watched them during the summer, and I've been peeking at them. But as far as the game plan, we haven't gotten into that. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna be the guys that play for us. But we'll definitely get into that soon.
Sam and Bobby have also said that they think it's an advantage for the offense, the headsets and everything. I mean, this is probably a dumb question, but do you think like scoring will be up across the country this year because of it? Like, that's a likely scenario?
Great question. Talk to the defensive staff. I really do. I think that's gonna happen. Hopefully not on the Hogs, but I think scores gonna go up. But then I think with the iPads, see, a lot of people talking about this helmet deal. It's the iPads on the sideline. So you're able to have the iPads on the sideline like high school. So each drive, right, you can look and say, oh, this is what they're running. This is what they're in, right? So the the corrections gonna be a lot better, because you say, oh man, where that ball hit? Who? Well, I think it was the D-line. I think it was the line. It was a lot of I think. Then Sunday comes like, oh shoot, it wasn't that person. It was this person. Well, you're gonna have the iPads now, and you'll be able to see it. So I do think defenses and offenses as well at halftime, you're gonna have to have a plan to do some different stuff. Because whatever you're doing in the first half, they're gonna go, because you can take the iPads into halftime as well. Whatever you're doing in the first half, they go up there and they say, okay, they're doing this. And this is this blitz, and this is this. This is what they're running. And coming out, they're gonna come out here and have a plan for it. So it's gonna be a lot of different stuff, just in college football, period. But we got to get ready for that.
Are there any benefits to it for the defensive side of the ball? Like
For the mic or for the iPad?
But I guess mainly the mic, but I mean, if not both, I guess. I mean,
it is for the mic when you got teams that are slowing down, and you can kind of see it, and you can talk to whoever you're gonna put the mic on. When they're checking, you can go ahead and check, because usually when they check, you'll check or you'll stand to the same call, where you could just talk to the guy in the mic and say, okay, check to this call. I think that's a benefit there. You could make so many different ways of like hiding your signals. You can go wristband, and then you tell the guy on the mic, wristband 88. Wristband 88. They look down real quick. So it's just the game is really hiding your signals more than anything. How are you going to signal? How are you going to do from the other team not to see it? And it's it's legal for them to do it. So it's not one of them Michigan type deals. Like if you look over there and they see your signal and you're crazy enough not to change your signal, then that's on you, right? So you got to have a plan of hiding your signals. And then the iPad part of it, it's an advantage for offense and defense. See what they're in. Oh, this is how they running the power. This is how they blocked it. Oh, this is the passing scheme they're doing. So, and then they're going to look and say, oh, this is what they running in. They in cover 3, or they in quarters, or they bringing a blitz from the field. This is how we got to block it. So I think it's advantage both ways.
Coach, I just double checked your resume. You've been on both sides of this FBS versus FCS kind of matchup. I'm curious from your perspective, what's it like going into a matchup like that from an FCS perspective, and just kind of what's your overall take of those kind of matchups?
I mean, it's really one of those deals where you got to understand that you're going to get their best shot. I mean, it's their Super Bowl, and you got to respect all of your opponents. So I really think no matter what level it is, if you go in with respecting your opponents and you respect them by playing the hardest you can play, no matter if it's FCS, FBS, whatever it is, you respect them and you respect the game by playing as hard as you can play. So that's always the message whether I'm on this side or if I'm on the FCS side, like you go out there and you represent the name on your jersey, the front of your jersey and the back of your jersey, and respect the game by playing hard.
Coach Petrino said yesterday that this sign, like trying to get signs, has been going on a long time. Do you have any funny stories or I guess, I don't know. What's your take on how much time do coaching staff spend on trying to interpret what's happening over on that other sideline?
Oh, a lot. Like, it's so funny. You'll be shocked. During the week, I know offense all around the country. They're going to get the TV copy, and they looking at the signals. Yeah, just one person. That's your only job. Look at the signals. And then boom. Oh, we can't get the defensive signals. Okay, well, let's see what the defensive players are signaling. Then they'll try to get it that way. So they got different ways. I remember we played Louisville, and he was really good. And I saw the TV copy, and I could just see the whole time he's just like this, just watching. And in the halftime, they got the signals. So we played him the next year. I was at UCF. We played him that next year, and I got his contact, and I called him. Like, hey, man, I need to. And he sent me the whole thing. And he said, this is what we had. And it was like 80% correct. So we had to change our signals because they just pass it around. So they're just sending it to the next. So we played SMU and Rhett Lashley to them, and they had the same signals. I wasn't mad that he sent it around. I would have been mad if we didn't change it. So it's huge, like just signals, and it's perfectly legal. I know teams right now that have 2 guys on the field because you usually have them in the box. So all the times you see a lot of these teams behind the actual team, they pull out these big curtains behind it. If it wasn't important, they wouldn't be doing it. 80% of the teams in America, when they signal, they pull out the big curtain behind so the guys in the press box can't get them. Well, they done smarten up. They done put them on the field. So they got 2 guys and they just sit here and try to get it. So you got to have ways of hiding your signals, So you can always know, like, when a play happens, you go, hey, man, they got our signals. Because it's just like the perfect play. You just know. All over college football. So that's not, it's nothing new. It's not one of those deals where it's like unethical or something like that. Like, they do it. If you're crazy enough to keep the same signals, that's on you. So
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. For your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.